The internet has been going crazy since the Game Awards. By the way, let's stink and go. It's fake, by the way. But I have about a dozen of them. Anyways, with that said, the internet has been going crazy since the Game Awards, talking about this Intergalactic trailer. And people have been going on both sides. Oh my gosh, she's not attractive. Oh my gosh, she's not attractive. Oh my gosh, they want to have sex with her. Oh my gosh, It's been just nauseating to watch. But the trailer has been absolutely ratioed. So I wanted to show you a clip of our show, which is a really good conversation I had with Flash and Cody and Blabs, obviously. But really good conversation about this in particular, specifically Asmongold, and a tweet that had over 5 million views on it. But first, before we do, we actually have a sponsor for today's episode. How cool. We talk about folks living in fantasy land all the time, but I gotta be honest, fantasy can be fun if it's done the right way. Like chatting it up with your favorite video game characters via Polybuzz. Today's show sponsor is Polybuzz, which is totally free to download to your phone right now. It's been downloaded over 10 million times, so you know, they got a track record. You can have conversations with your favorite video game character or anime character in real time with unlimited revisions, or you can do like I did, make your own character. Fake Craig. Now, I know you guys don't get enough of me on a day-to-day basis, which is why I made Fake Craig, so you can talk to Fake Craig. You are the best. Console with Fake Craig. You are dumb! Grr! Yell at Fake Craig. I hate you! Shut up! Just don't make it weird with Fake Craig. I find you extremely attractive. So make sure you go check out Polybuzz and use our link in the description down below or the pinned comment and use promo code SCROLLER to get premium features. And we greatly appreciate Polybuzz's support. Once again, they support us, so please support them. All right, so go check out Polybuzz. Greatly appreciate their support once again. Look, we talk about Fantasyland. These people on X, they're living in Fantasyland. Let's check out this clip. There's been a lot of back and forth since the Game Awards about this look of the character in the Intergalactic game. Cody, have you seen the Intergalactic lead character?
Is that the bald lady?
It is the bald lady.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. When I just wish I could look in the room with the developer or whoever's designing this, and they're designing it, and they got it full screen in 4K, and like, what do you guys think? And there's not one person that was like, you're shitting me, John, right? Like, hold on, John, you're shitting me, right? Because this is terrible, right? You know this is absolutely atrocious, and I guess they just get fired. I don't know what happens.
Well, I guarantee you, when they were designing this character, they were like, "Fucking chuds are gonna hate this one."
Yeah, right. You're probably right.
Those chuds.
They do it on purpose just to piss people off instead of just making a good freaking game.
Right. Well, this is the character here, and a lot of people have been really upset about the look of this character, and a lot of back and forth. You see, like Flash said, this idea of,
I'm not upset about it. I think it's great.
Why is that, Flash?
Because we all know how the story is going to end.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, I fuck Naughty Dog too for all the shit that they pulled when Last of Us 2 dropped. Copyright striking people. They knew what they were doing. They admitted what they were doing. It's a shitty company. Neil Druckmann is a piece of shit. So I'm glad he doubled down. I'm so glad he doubled down. This game is going to kill that studio.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the direction of the character and how, I said this earlier on X, that gamers and just the entertainment audience as a whole, customers are not dumb. They notice a trend, they see a trend, and they recognize a trend. It's the old fool me once, shame on me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me type of thing. But Asmongold had a tweet that really blew up over the last weekend, and it said, "Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the market for masculine, non-conventional, attractive female leads in games isn't as big as the video game industry thinks it is." Which seems like the most vanilla statement ever. I don't think this is extremely controversial at all. So let's go start there. Cody, your thoughts on just that general statement, the idea that the market for not for masculine, non-conventional, attractive female leads in games isn't as big as the video game industry.
It doesn't exist. It's catering. Even women, like, so something people don't really understand or talk about is even women don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, women like traditional attractive women, like even unattractive women like traditional. They like to say that.
Even if they say they don't.
They do. Attractive people are attractive. The word attractive means to attract everything. Even my cat likes attractive women. You know what I'm saying? So like it's absolutely ridiculous to say that they're trying to appeal to any. They're just trying to piss people off and trying to get a reaction. That's all they're trying to do.
Well, the response to this was like a fucking nuclear bomb went off, because this quickly people all of a sudden went to, oh my God, their response is just like this. These guys are just proving the point.
Pronouns and bio.
Let's see.
You can see it right there on the right.
You're right.
Under
You
relevant
him right there.
people.
Yep. These guys are just proving the point that they can't see women as anything other than sex objects, which I don't understand how, like, that's what you got from this tweet.
That's funny, because every time I see Asmongold, he's got a smoking hot woman with him. So that's a fucking cope text right there. Fuck these people. All of them are scum.
They continue, it says, never heard them complain that they don't find male protagonists fuckable, right? And I don't think, once again, I don't think Asmongold said anything about her being fuckable in this game, in this tweet at all. Am I missing something here at all, right? I don't know, maybe I missed, but going back says, but if it's a female protagonist, she has to be anime sexy. Genuinely incel behavior, never touched a real woman.
She should be sexy. Sex sells.
It's
Both
like
men and women should be good looking and attractive in the game.
Do you think that Arnold Schwarzenegger, with all of his muscles and good looks in the 80s and 90s, would have been cast if he wasn't incredibly handsome and had just ripping washboard abs and giant biceps?
Nope.
I don't think so either. Blabs, what are your thoughts on this? You got your hand to the chin.
Right, so can you pull up Asmongold's tweet and that dude's response to him again, please?
Sure.
Right, so I see really nothing wrong with Asmongold's tweet. He's just saying, like, I don't think there's an actual market for so many repetitive, well, bland women in video games, when in comparison, like 20 years ago, think of all the hot women and babes and all that stuff, right? I think that's a fair assessment, saying, something seems off here. I don't really like that this other person is just like quote tweeting and attacking just based on his opinions. Like, well, you have no argument to stand on here. Incel behavior, never touched a real woman. It's like, so we can't have an opinion, which really is just like an assessment based off of last 20 years of video games. So just pretty stupid. For me, about this bald bitch, it's not the fact that she's ugly or anything. I think she's very, very mid. I think the other
more than her
graphics,
attractiveness, it's her the projection she gives.
oh, you like smug attitude and all that.
Smug. I know it all. I'm better than you.
See, if that comes into like
You can tell
play and it's part of the
character
character that she has in the game, and it actually proves to be like a point of the story, like because she's a smug bitch, arrogant, SOB, she gets someone killed by accident, something like that, that's like, oh, so this all makes sense. But to me, the biggest issue with this was in other stills of her, she's extremely disproportionate. Like her arm is like it's massive, her head and her neck is super tiny. It's like, what is going on here? Like, are we gonna ignore all that? Like, just because she's a bald bitch, whatever. But like, the game looks stupid with all this proportion. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not really interested about it. And again, and this is Naughty Dog, and they had all that copyright stuff that Flash said back in, like, what was it, 2019 or some shit like that? And they were copyright striking everybody and their mother. So I just personally, I'm not a big fan of the company.
Blabs, here's the issue with that. You cannot have a character that holds a let's say a group identity, right? So you can't have a character that's obviously a person of color, that's obviously probably not straight. That character can't exist in your video game if they go through strife or character arc. They're already perfect to begin with.
It's true.
You cannot, you'll notice this if you ever see like a modern movie or TV show from 2018 to 2023, 2024.
Ray, all the Star Wars chicks.
All the like white characters in a TV show will have all kinds of strife, trauma. They'll have all these flaws, but all the characters that have to teach them to be great are all these characters that are either gay, or a person of color. So no, this character will have absolutely no flaws. She'll be a smug ass character from the very beginning all the way to the very end.
She'll also be a lesbian.
Yes.
Is that confirmed? Like she's a lesbian?
Oh, she's for sure gonna be.
Just look at her.
Well, I mean, like
guarantee you her
we
and
can
that
look
iPad
and we can
lady are
assume all we want, but perhaps she'll be like, "I am pure, no vagina or dicks," you know? Like who knows what this character's about? So I don't know. I'm not personally for it. I think the argument over she's bald, nobody asked for that. It's like I think we're starting to lose the plot here. We want good-looking games with good characters, some type of like development in the plot would be great. Great gameplay. I don't really give a shit if she's bald or not.
Well, okay, let me just say this. I saw a tweet from somebody saying, I think it was Fran over at IGN, who was like, wait, well, why don't these people hold their judgment until you see gameplay? Why don't they understand? It's like, because they didn't give you any gameplay. You're judging literally a book on its cover at this point. So
yeah, it's like a movie.
It is what it is. This is a teaser trailer, but we'll continue here looking at other responses here. Maybe it's just me, but I don't judge a video game based on how easy I can fap to its protagonist, right? And the reality is that nobody really does that. A very small section of people do that, but it goes back to the trend that we've seen over and over and over again. Just look at Concord. Look at the uglification of some of these female video game characters and men, just the androgyny associated with it. It has nothing to do with whether or not they're quote unquote fuckable or not. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the trend that we see over and over and over again. And we see this one from One Peg. I don't know who this guy is. Says, do most guys usually play games on whether or not they'd fap to it?
It's always the same. These people are more obsessed with the sex shit than anybody else.
Bit ironic for name of One Peg, huh?
Hey.
Yeah, it always flashes right. It always boils down right back to like, oh, it's all masturbating. But no, it has nothing to do with that. It's they always do this thing where everything is extremely black and white, right? So, you just want to have sex with the character. It's like, no. See, I don't want a character. I don't want to play as a character that looks like Danny DeVito, and I don't want to play as a character that looks like this lady right here. I want to play as a character that looks like they would actually be in the situation you're trying to portray them in. Ellie in Last of Us and Dino or Dina or whatever the hell her name was, they're 5'1", 102, maybe 98-pound women, and they're going through buildings clearing 250-pound guys out of the building. That is ridiculous. And then when they walk out of the building, they start having this weird, like, normal conversation that normal modern day people don't even have. Where, what do you want to do when we get home, babe? Yeah, babe. Haha, babe. And I'm like, what the? They just killed 200 dudes. Like this is the most asinine bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And that is why you can't play the games, because it's so ridiculous. At least they made that one chick steroid induced. That's about the only thing that's done to make
she was eating all the protein of the survivors camp.
At least she was jacked. But other than that, it's all very, very silly. Oh, by the way, also a woman that's jacked to the absolute gills would still get destroyed by me in every lift by times about 400%. So just no one would have followed that Abby girl. They would have punched her in the face. This is post-apocalyptic world. In the post-apocalypse, there are no women. There's just men.
I don't even think you could have unless you were breeding your own animals to keep them coming over and over. Like, where would you find? It takes a lot of food to look like that. That's why the joke was always funny that she was eating all their rations.
Yeah,
because she would have to get that build she had, especially as a woman.
As a woman,
she would actually have to be injecting some testosterone too.
Yeah, as a woman, women do not build meaningful mass unless they're on some type of testosterone and or Anavar, which is like the most commonly used for women. It's oral. Like if you ever, people like are silly out there, they'll show those videos of those girls walking up at CrossFit competitions, and they're like 180 pounds and like a 90 pack and thick and huge, and people are like, man, that's a lot of hard work. Yes, it is, but it's also about $18,000 a month in gear. Like, stop being dumb as hell. Anybody on earth that has a little bit of size on them and they're a little cut, they're on gear. Everyone. And that's the one of the weirdest common misconceptions about all these things is people go to the gym and they see jack dudes or whatever, especially a meathead gym, and they're like, I wonder if he's no. 100% of them are on gear. 100%.
When you say
across
gear,
the board.
you mean like
And anabolic steroids, yeah.
okay.
Like The
Thank you.
Rock saying
Oh my god.
that he's the biggest he's ever been and cuttest, and he's like, yeah, dude, I just eat like a lot of eggs and stuff. I'm like, no, you're 50. You're
Is
on.
that testosterone replacement therapy?
Well, people will get on stuff like that. They'll get on like testosterone, and then they'll crank it
Mike
up.
Tyson's on that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my God,
So
The
is,
Rock is 52.
Yeah,
Listen.
and you don't.
So is
you
Joe
time is
Rogan. He's
fleeting.
doing that too.
Yeah, you don't produce testosterone after a certain age, man. So like that, the point is you get on it and you'll throw like a 1,500 milligrams a week on it, and then you'll do like some oral gear, and you'll get massive. Right?
I used to have this conversation with two guys I used to work with over at Game Attack, and they were like, "No, The Rock's doing it natural." I'm like, "Are you fucking insane? Like, are you that fucking dumb?" Turns out they were that fucking dumb.
Yeah, well, it's the layman, Craig. It's the layman. It's people, and this happens with any field. Like I'll have people ask me questions, or they'll speak with such confidence about something that I know a lot about, like like racing, like actually racing in like NASCAR. People will speak with such confidence about something that is not even remotely true.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You have no idea, but you're so confident. And that's the same thing with gym culture and gear. Like people like argue natty or not all the time. Like normal people, not gym goers, by the way. Normal people will look at a picture and be like, oh, natty or not. And they're both jacked, shredded dudes. They're both on gear. There is no such thing as being shredded and jacked and on gear and are a natural. That's not a real thing. There's no such thing as being natural and huge. There's something called the natty limit. And for me, it's like 183 pounds. I will never be heavier unless I'm on gear at a cut rate at 183 pounds. It is impossible for my size, not physiologically possible as a human. But people think that people can actually be 300 pounds of muscle naturally. It's the most insane shit. But they don't know because they're not involved in it. They've never worked through it. They never bulked and cut 5 times. They don't actually understand that, oh, damn, this actually is impossible. Yeah, it is. You're just stupid, and you don't know anything about the culture. And that's the main problem here. So no, you got to put a character in a game, Craig, that is the situation they're in is believable. If it's not believable, no one's going to pay attention to it.
Well, if you'd like to see Blabs as a completely unbelievable roid head, you can find it on a new Challenger t-shirt. You see how jacked up those shoulders are right there. Look at that, Blabs.
Call me Helga.
It's ma'am.
You guys go pick up the t-shirt now. I'll tell you, but Gundam, it's Papa Gundam. It's a Gundam came in, and he says what everybody else wants to say. He says, "Dear video game industry, I don't need representation. I need something to inspire me and distract me from the modern day BS I'm forced to live with. Thank you." That's it. 100% right. Like video games.
We deal with enough nasty, smug people in real life. We don't need to play as them in an escapism hobby.
Makes you feel so good about things. But I think this also once again shows the disconnect. That is saying, all they want to do is have sex with these video game characters. Like that's such low-hanging bullshit, pretentious fruit. It doesn't taste good. Nothing about what you just said makes any sense at all, because you clearly haven't noticed the trends that everybody else has noticed. Once again, go look at Dustborn, look at Concord, go down the list and look at these games. And tell me that you haven't noticed a trend along the way, which ultimately, when we look at a trailer like this from Intergalactic, you see it, you see the player, and you immediately make a decision. Everybody makes decisions. Everybody is voting with their wallet immediately. And you want people to get excited about what you have going on. Those who work within the industry are very excited about Intergalactic. The customers on X who are voicing their opinions about this have shown that they're not necessarily enthusiastic about Intergalactic. And it's actually run over to YouTube as well, as the YouTube trailer got ratioed. So people so people truly aren't that interested in what's being thrown down right now. So will they ever take a look? Will these developers actually take a cold, hard look at themselves? Probably not. I think that the video game industry, like, they could do, and I've said this before, but they could do what Elon Musk did to Twitter and ransack 80% of the industry, and it would still be fine.
Yep. Because you get rid of all these overinflated, completely just swollen video game companies that are putting out BS after BS after BS after BS. Just get rid of all of them, and then I just leave From Software or something. I'm fine. That's all I need. From Software.
Well, they're going to be owned by Sony soon, so Sorry.
Yeah, that's scary.